The moment someone tells you what to do, something inside you shifts. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a subtle tightening. Your shoulders rise. Your breathing changes. Your motivation, once present, quietly slips away. You might still do what they asked. You might even do it well. But something important has been lost. And the strange part is this. 5 minutes earlier you were already planning to do it. So why does being told what to do feel so different? Why does a simple instruction sometimes trigger resistance that feels out of proportion, irrational, even embarrassing to explain? The answer is not stubbornness. It's not ego. It's not a personality flaw. It's a deeply wired psychological response. One that forms early, runs silently, and shapes how certain people move through the world. And once you see it clearly, this behavior stops looking like defiance and starts looking like self-preservation. At the center of this pattern is one fundamental human need: autonomy. Autonomy is not independence in the dramatic, rebellious sense. It's much quieter than that. Autonomy is the feeling that your actions belong to you, that you are choosing, not merely complying. When autonomy is intact, people are flexible. They can listen. They can adapt. They can compromise. But when autonomy feels threatened, the nervous system doesn't debate. It reacts. Psychologists call this reaction psychological reactance. But the lived experience is simple. The moment your freedom feels restricted, your brain pushes back. Not because the instruction is wrong. Not because the person is malicious. But because loss of choice registers as danger. What's important to understand is that this reaction does not come from thought. It comes from the body. Long before logic weighs in, the nervous system asks one question. Am I still in control of myself? If the answer feels uncertain, even slightly, the system tightens. And for some people, that tightening happens fast. This is why being told what to do can feel emotionally loaded, even when the words are neutral. Just do it this way. You need to handle this. Make sure you... On the surface, these are ordinary phrases. But internally, they can translate into something much heavier. You don't get to choose. Your judgment isn't trusted. You are being managed. That translation happens automatically. And once it happens, resistance follows. The question then is why this reaction is stronger in some people than others. The answer almost always leads back to early experiences with control. Many people who strongly dislike being told what to do grew up in environments where authority replaced understanding. Rules mattered more than reasons. Obedience mattered more than emotional safety. Disagreement was labeled as disrespect. In those homes, control was not collaborative. It was absolute. So the child learned something very specific. When someone tells me what to do, I disappear. My preferences don't matter. My inner world doesn't matter. My agency doesn't matter. That lesson doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes a nervous system memory. So years later, even a mild instruction can activate the same internal alarm. Not because the present moment is unsafe, but because the body remembers when control meant erasure. For others, the story unfolds differently but ends in the same place. Some people grew up without reliable guidance at all. They had to figure things out on their own. They had to self-direct early. They learned that depending on others led to disappointment. For these individuals, autonomy became survival. Control wasn't just a preference, it was stability. So later in life, being told what to do can feel like a threat to competence. Not consciously, emotionally. It can feel like someone stepping into a role they had to fill themselves. And the nervous system reacts accordingly. There is also a quieter, often overlooked group. People who were constantly corrected. Not abused. Not neglected. Just managed. Their tone adjusted, their choices refined, their behavior subtly shaped. Over time, they learned that direction comes with scrutiny. So now instructions don't feel neutral. They feel evaluative. And even gentle guidance can trigger a defensive response, not because it's harsh, but because it carries the echo of judgment. Across all these experiences, one theme repeats. Control was not safe. So autonomy became protection. This is why the resistance often looks indirect. People who hate being told what to do are rarely loud rebels. They are more likely to disengage quietly. They procrastinate. They delay. They comply without commitment. They lose enthusiasm the moment a task becomes imposed. From the outside, this can look confusing. Inside, it feels like relief. Because resistance restores a sense of control, even if it comes at a cost. Another layer of this psychology lives in identity. Many people who resist being directed strongly identify as self-directed individuals. Not in a performative way. In a deeply internal one. Their self-respect is tied to making their own decisions. So when someone tells them what to do, it doesn't just affect behavior. It touches dignity. It can feel like being reduced from an equal participant to a subordinate object. And the nervous system reacts instantly to avoid that feeling. This is also why tone matters so much. Highly sensitive people, those who naturally register subtle emotional cues, are especially affected. They don't just hear words, they hear implication. A neutral instruction may feel loaded if it carries urgency, impatience, or assumption. Not because the speaker intended harm, but because the listener system is tuned to pressure. And pressure collapses autonomy. Here's the paradox that often surprises people. Many individuals who hate being told what to do are extremely responsible. They care deeply about doing things right. They hold themselves to high internal standards. They don't need external force to perform. In fact, force often makes them perform worse. Because their motivation system is autonomy-based. Take away choice and motivation shuts down. Give ownership and they flourish. This is why these individuals often excel in environments built on trust. Clear goals. Flexible methods. Respect for judgment. They don't resist responsibility. They resist being controlled. If you recognize yourself here, something important needs to be said clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. This response didn't come from nowhere. At some point in your life, autonomy mattered enough to wire itself deeply into you. Kept you safe. It preserved your sense of self. It allowed you to function. Your nervous system learned a rule. If I don't protect my freedom, something bad happens. And it has been enforcing that rule faithfully ever since. The problem isn't that rule. The problem is that it may no longer fit your current reality. Adult life requires collaboration, structure, shared authority. So the goal isn't to erase your resistance. It's to update it. One powerful shift is learning to reclaim agency internally. Instead of hearing instructions as commands, you translate them into choices. Not as denial, but as reinterpretation. I'm choosing to do this because it aligns with my values. I'm choosing to cooperate because it serves a larger goal. This reframing restores autonomy. And when autonomy returns, resistance softens. Another crucial element is context. People who hate being told what to do respond far better when they understand why something matters. Explanation restores dignity. Purpose replaces pressure. Commands feel smaller when meaning is clear. For those interacting with someone like this, the lesson is simple but powerful. If you want cooperation, don't remove choice. Invite it. State the goal, not the method. Ask for input. Leave room for agency. This doesn't weaken leadership. It strengthens trust. Ultimately, this psychology is not about defiance. It's about selfhood. It's about nervous systems that learned, often for good reason, that autonomy equals safety. Once you see that, the behavior stops feeling personal. And once it stops feeling personal, it becomes workable. People who hate being told what to do are not trying to dominate others. They are trying to remain intact. And when that need is respected rather than challenged, something remarkable happens. They relax. They engage. They choose cooperation willingly. Because for them, freedom is not a luxury. It's the ground they stand on. And once you understand that truth, resistance starts to look less like a problem. And more like a message that was never meant to be ignored. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel.